By exploring tooth number 14, I find the correct working end by making sure the Explorer Pac-Man is going towards the midline. I'll start at the distal line angle by going subgingivally, keeping the tip towards the tooth and turning my fingers slowly as I go interproximal with sweeping oblique, horizontal, and vertical strokes, making sure to keep light pressure. Then I would insert or come up out of the gums, go again at the distal line angle, keeping the tip towards the tooth, sweeping strokes on the facial aspect into furcation if present, and all the way into the mesial. I have my patient with their head towards me and rocking on my fulcrum, sitting at 9 o'clock. The lingual of tooth number 14, I find my correct end again by looking at the crook of the Explorer, and it's towards the midline. I have my patient looking away from me and I'm sitting about 10 o'clock. I will start on the distal line angle, keeping my tip towards the tooth, going interproximal, short overlapping strokes, all the way in, come up out of the gums, insert again, keeping my tip towards the tooth and making sure to use light grasp, going towards the mesial into bifurcation and all the way up through the contact. For exploring anterior, I picked number 8, surfaces away from me. I found the end of my instrument because it only eats the side of the tooth that I'm working on. I would start at the midline, tip towards the tooth, rolling interproximal, rocking on my fulcrum with a light grasp. Then move my seating slightly for surfaces towards me, find the end again, starting at the midline and rocking on my fulcrum. For the distal of tooth number 14, I'm going to scale with a rigid Gracie 1314. Going to insert, open up the blade using an extraoral fulcrum and rocking into the interproximal. For the mesial, I'm going to use a rigid 1516. Insert at the mesial line angle, still using my extraoral fulcrum and going into the mesial, small overlapping strokes. Again, using the 1314 rigid for the distal, insert with the blade closed. This time I'm using a intraoral fulcrum and 1516 rigid for the mesial, closed blade and open parallel shank with an extraoral fulcrum going into the furcation. Use my diamond file on the furcation of tooth number 30. I'm sitting at 10 to 11, and using short strokes. All right, exploring 30, lingual, mesial, short strokes, keeping my tip interproximal, interoral fulcrum. All right, exploring tooth number 19. Going to start at the distal line angle, insert, rock in, short strokes. Using the mini Gracie 1112 for the mesial, close my blade to insert, open it up, and rock my fulcrum, short controlled strokes into the interproximal. I'll be sitting at 8 to 10 for the surface towards me on tooth number 8, keeping my toe and my blade closed and opening, short strokes, exploring lower anterior lingual, start at the midline towards, I'm going to sit 8 to 10, short strokes to the interproximal. Surface away from me using a 1-2 micro mini. Close my blade to insert, open, having my shank parallel to the long axis of the tooth using short controlled strokes.